I've got my Oga at the top, Big Mo of Wazobia with me here. Hi.
Hi.
Big Mo.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah. I know that some people at this moment will be wondering, why is Big Mo on the show with Kimberly on a Wednesday when we usually have Majid Tahiru?
Mm-hmm.
Short answer, Majid will not be here. He's a tad under the weather. He actually thought he could make it, but then he looked at the time and felt his temperature and felt like, no, I must respect what my body's saying to me and just rest a bit. So he needs to take time off his feet and just relax a little. Get well soon, Dr. Majid, and look forward to having you back in the studio next week. So Big Mo will be here with us on the roundtable as we take a look at some of the light stories.
Yeah.
Just before we
Since
join.
I'm light complexion.
All right. That's a nice perspective to it. I never knew color counts in analyzing the national stories. All right, then at the 4 o'clock hour would join the Tournament of Champions studio for I Beg to Differ, where the third place.
Yeah, third place.
Yeah. Between Adio, Folari, and David. David's Mangwa. The other name is like a mouthful. I would have to get the right pronunciation, but it'll be on at 4 o'clock, and it will be intense debating today, I promise you. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at the finals, and Mary will be on the hot seat alongside, what's his name again? Why are all the names leaving my head? Oh, well, one thing that hasn't left my head is the electricity policy. And it's nothing to take a deep sigh over. The federal government yesterday unveiled the zero draft of the National Integrated Electricity Policy and Strategy Implementation Plan. The aim actually is to address the pressing challenges within the Nigerian electricity supply industry and set the nation on a path towards robust, sustainable, and inclusive power sector. Now, during the presentation today, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, described the policy as critical in our nation's journey towards achieving robust, sustainable, and inclusive power sector that meets the aspiration of all Nigerians. And it's a comprehensive policy document that outlines strategic intervention across the entire electricity value chain, from generation to transmission to distribution, and even off-grid segment captured in it. And he hopes that a policy, a product of extensive consultation with industry experts, key stakeholders, and development partners, would help us, forge a future where it will be let there be light, and there was light, not up NEPA that children even born today. Yeah, but you know what? If I count the number of times we've had some form of electricity policy and reforms and extensive consultation around electricity, and we're still yo-yoing around 4,000 megawatts in terms of distribution.
Yeah.
And we're still bragging about generating 10,000. We've not even gone. We have the capacity for 10,000, but we've not even hit the 10,000 max. I think the highest we've gone once upon a time was 7,000 megawatts. You really wonder, with all of this consultation and meeting and brainstorming, how is it that we've not been able to improve our lot since independence in this country when it comes to electricity?
It gets me worried. Like, can we not diversify?
Oh, yes, we can.
What happened to thinking of going solar? What happened to thinking of going wind, using the windmill approach to generating electricity? Look at Lagos. Just imagine having wind turbines just by the seaside. Do you know how much electricity that would generate? Yeah. Go up north, the wind from the desert area, put it up there, generate electricity. The same up north, you can generate electricity from the heat.
I mean, the intensity of the sun that we have in this country, Seb, the entire northwestern flank of the country is covered if we want to really channel renewable energy and looking at the solar aspect of it.
So I just keep wondering, why are we not tilting towards that direction? The other day, I noticed that some companies were just giving license to go into energy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, telecommunication company. I don't want to mention names now, but we're giving the go-ahead to explore energy.
With the electricity act that just came out?
Madam, this was when? About 2 weeks ago, yes. Yes.
Well, Nigerians, the big question is, what is wrong with us as a people, as a government, that is just been difficult for us to surmount this one hurdle of electricity? There are smaller African countries that are light years ahead of us in terms of their supply, their distribution. And even if they have to buy from us, at least they have a bit more consistency than Nigeria. We'll only keep our fingers crossed and hope that this new electricity policy that has been unveiled will be the start or the continuation from wherever they have stopped to a future where if you have a blackout in your areas because you've run out of units, not because the national grid failed or not because the distributors are incapable of distributing or we're just incapable of generating or transmitting, which is, if you're looking at the entire value chain of electricity, there's problem from start to finish, even down to the consumers, because we have people who are tampering with their facilities also. All of these quote-unquote NEPA 2 people who are diverting, who are tampering with their meter. So, it gets down to you also. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about your cousin, because you're a good people. But it boils down to, every single one of us and how, we relate with this facility and supply. I just hope that we get there. For me, as a Nigerian, one of the things that worries me the most, amongst the several things that worry me about the country, is the fact that we're still struggling with this issue of electricity. And we've seen one government after another come. So much money going into this sector. We've even seen initiative to, diversify, to privatize it. And yet, in spite of it all, we haven't moved an inch from where we were a couple of decades back. Let's not even go
into the figures that were earmarked from the time of Olusegun Obasanjo to Yaradua to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, all the way to the former president Buhari. It's mind-boggling, and one often wonder, is it that there are some persons that just have made it a point of duty to just see that power generation does not come to fruition in its fullness in Nigeria? Because you wonder, small businesses here and there, the number of generators, if I'm not mistaken, I was watching some documentary the other day, the number of generators in Nigeria is the largest in Africa. Generators.
I'm not surprised by that.
And then you don't think...
Isn't the why the South Africa mocked us some time back and referred to us as a generator republic?
So what does that mean? It means that whilst the government is probably trying to better the energy supply, power supply that is, the importers of the generator, on the other hand, will be putting up a fight for those that do not want to diversify. So there is a for and an against.
Yeah.
Those importing diesel, because if you check, a good number of power generators, that's for the big conglomerates, they use diesel. So if we have steady power supply, there won't be use for the generators.
Well, the use will reduce drastically because you have that supply. I mean, somebody came some time back, I can't remember if it's this year or last year, I was talking about where they went somewhere and then they had a power surge or outage and they had a backup diesel plant or generator, but a good number of them didn't even know how to operate it or what to do. They were looking for the trained person because it's not something they interact with all the time.
Obsolete to them.
But here, you see a child in diaper, he knows how to turn small gen.
I better pass mine.
Exactly. So it's almost become very cultural, like a signature of who we are, that the noise will be there. It's just overwhelming your thinking, your thought. I went to a plaza and then the building was vibrating because of all the level of generators that they have there.
We don't point to concentration, the health risk.
So, yeah, I can understand how people will say there's a cabal everywhere. There are definitely people who are major importers of this, but the thing is, at one point you have to evolve. If the country comes up to the strong policy and we're committed, the political will is there that we're going to start improving on electricity, cut down importation. It will affect certain businesses, but a good business person will find a way to evolve.
To plug in.
There will be something else that if the country is opening up and saying, okay, that means that you're building more power plants, you're expanding, you can key into some of this expansion. It mustn't be importation always. There will always be opportunity for you to, diversify your business into something else. So it will just be narrow-minded to say, some people will not want it to happen because it's the easy way out, but we have to fight it.
We have to.
Exactly.
And the only way we can fight it is the strong political will.
Indeed. So I think the biggest challenge is with the political will than the cabal who imports because...
Don't forget to put the word strong. Because the political will can meet halfway and then disperse into thin air, just like spirit.
Yeah, Bio. Well, people who are not dispersing like spirit, this time they are coming on strong, is ASU. As we speak, there's a meeting between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities going on. And it's coming following a recent threat by university lecturer, the teachers, to down tools over their led federal government failure to meet its demand. Recall that following the threat, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, had hinted last Friday during a briefing to mark the 1 year in office that the government would meet with representative of ASU last Monday, but the two parties could not meet on Monday, even as reasons were not advanced for the failure. The meeting is aimed at preventing another nationwide strike in the nation's public universities. And ASU representatives to the meeting led by their president, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, taking place at the conference hall of the Federal Ministry of Education, the venue of the meeting. And so we're waiting for the outcome of the meeting with them. Remember, they're saying as far back as 2009, some of the agreements that they've had several strikes over and several resolutions over have still not been met. They were threatening and actually gave a window before they go on a warning strike if the government does not intervene. But it's a good thing at least the government is meeting with them, having that talk, and hopefully the last thing anybody wants to hear is ASU strike. Even I do not want to hear that.
Not at this point. I don't want to be scarred all over again.
No, nobody wants to hear. I think Nigerians are fed up with the whole ASU strike, so I hope they're able to resolve it.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Connection established.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, from the conversation around electricity policy, I see you rolling your eyes and saying, here we go again, another policy document concerning electricity and still no power. Well, let's hope for the best. And then ASU meeting with the federal government to avert another strike. I mean, seriously, who wants to even hear of another ASU strike? At this point in time, ASU is starting to look like the villain, even though they were within their right to make demand and press it on the government to saying, hold your own end of the bargain. We had an agreement. You said we should call off our strike. We gave you a certain window. You've exceeded it. One government after another playing the same script over time. But the thing is, I know, given the fact that I felt the pulse of a few young Nigerians, nobody wants to hear of another ASU strike.
Nobody, not one. Like, even though one is graduated from school, you do not want a clog in the way, because what this literally means is you have suppose youths that are meant to be engaged in class are on the streets. And what does that breed? It breeds a whole lot of miscreants walking back and forth on our streets. I feel government should, for once, hold their own end to the bargain. For once, clearly hold, because we've seen this translate from one government to the other.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at 2009 agreement here. Elements of it has still not been fulfilled.
This is 2024.
Yeah, well, that's something big for the minister to talk about, because, a lot of people are still reacting to this whole, you have to be 18 and above to even write JAMB or get into university. And one of the people who is lending their voice to the discourse is the former Vice President, Siko Bakari, condemned the federal government directive that admission to tertiary institutions should not be given to candidates less than 18 years. Atiku, who made this known to journalists in a statement on his Facebook handle, described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government as behaving like a lost sailor on a high sea. I recall that Minister of Education Tahir Mamman had directed admissions to tertiary institutions should not be given to candidates less than 18 years. He noted that 18 years benchmark is in line with the 6334 system of education. That the minimum age of entry into university is 18, but we've seen students who are 15, 16 years going in for entrance examination. Parents should be encouraged not to push their award too much. Mostly, it is the pressure of parents that is causing this. We're going to look at the development, because the candidates are too young to understand what the whole university education is all about. This is the period when children migrate from controlled to uncontrolled environment when they're in charge of their own affairs. But if you're too young, they wouldn't be able to manage properly. I think that's part of what we're seeing in the universities today.
At some point there,
I mean, any side you argue, you definitely have solid points.
Yeah, because during our time, the 6334 was fully implemented. But at the same time, if I recall vividly, there are some persons in the university fold that looked really, really small, and they could not...
Small in size or small in age?
Age.
You could actually look at some people looking like...
No, not size now.
Okay.
Not size now. Some persons... and I love the part that he mentioned where they move from a controlled environment to an uncontrolled environment. When they are being easily influenced, because kids are meant to be able to develop a mindset of their own, so they'll be able to hold their ground when they get to university. And this also comes to play. If we say university, are you talking about a private university or a public university? But that is not a clause, because whatever happens in the public university can still be gotten from the private university.
Most definitely.
In terms of why I'm trying to draw that narrative, because I was having this conversation with someone and said, no, if you have someone that's really young, attend a private university, it's a bit more controlled compared to...
A good number of the private universities are controlled in a sense in terms of what they represent. Those ones who are run by, say, a religious institution. Haven't we criticized and seen Nigerians criticize on social media to say, oh, why is this school? It's a university, not a secondary school. Why is it acting like a glorified secondary school? Why are they making too many rules and regulations? But it's in the books. Before you apply to this institution, you know what they represent, what they stand for. So if you're going in, you're going to submit to the dictate of the school.
But that is not 100% proof.
Well, it isn't proof or anything. The fact that they're talking about controlled environment, you haven't seen children in secondary school right under the noses of their parents who are going into all kinds of social vices in their controlled environment.
Within, not even school, within where they live.
Yeah.
The areas where that's where you have kids of, let's say, age in between the range of 10 to 14 or 10 to 15, having to join groups, secret groups, whereby parents are not even aware. So, for me, we should hold forth the 6334 curriculum for education, and as well make sure that I think it boils down to parents at the end of the day. Make sure your child is well developed mindset to be able to get into a university. If they see something that is red, they know that is red, and not be deceived to think that it is white.
Well, I think that, with every generation, there's a shift. You can't say exactly that 16-year-olds of today act like 16 years old of 20 years, 30 years back. There's a lot of information overload that has formed their character, their personality, their growth rate. They're a lot more informed on a lot of things. So I don't know, even if you keep them to 23 and in controlled environment, they will still come and...
That's why I said at the end of the day, it falls back to the parents. How they train the child, whatever
I agree.
Upbringing they give them would be a formative foundation to determine if the child is really developed mentally or not.
But on the flip side also, seeing that you can argue this either way and still come up with brilliant argument, why you would say hold back kids if they are academically sound? I mean, we've heard of young students, 14, 15, getting their PhD, getting into Ivy League institutions because of their level of brilliance and their high IQ. If you have that, why hold the child back based on the 633 policy? Some people are so smart that they stay in a class and it feels like they've mentally outgrown that class, and you want to jump them a class higher. I'm not saying the best case scenario, because some parents, they just want their children to finish school quickly so that they can stop paying school fee. The child is average, obviously. They'll get one extra lesson teacher, and if you just manage to make a little above, say, this one too, no book. Before you know, he has written common entrance. Before you know, you push. At 15, the child is out. Not even that academically sound, because we hear your stories of special centers. Yes, we do. And then you force them into an environment which is not controlled, and then they go in the university.
And Nigerians are smart. In the UK, the smartest family happen to be Nigerians.
We're based on what? I mean, Nigeria, believe me.
No, not Nigeria, believe me. This is it. The Mafidons, the smartest family in the UK.
Smart academically or smart?
Academically.
Okay.
If you want, I will go read through it.
No. It's one family, right?
Okay, so let me just take one. Anne-Marie, a Mafidon, graduated from the high school at the age of 10 before getting her master's degree from Oxford University at the age of 17. 17. Are you with me? 7.
High school now.
Gained master's degree.
Gained master's. Okay.
Of 17.
No, I've seen tons of those kind of stories before. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, if we're bringing up this policy back home, don't just send your children now to the UK or Canada and other places where they will permit for them younger to just scale through. The thing is, I don't have a problem if you come up with a policy if you think it's for the best interest for the growth of the child, but are your kids schooling here? Are we applying the same to them?
At the end of the day, whatever works for the goose might not work for the gander. Yes, it's a government policy. Yes, we need to obey. But at the same time, you as a parent, what do you think is best for your ward? You are the one to be able to ascertain if your ward is super smart or somewhat smart, for lack of word to use.
Yeah. Well, but parents, stop unnecessarily pushing. Some parents, and I say this with all sense of responsibility, are known to push their kids to just get through school. And they also find a way to meddle and manipulate the system to allow for the results to be favorable to the child. And then you want to ship the child off to one private school where you can easily get the child in there. And
have
then
the
you
child
come
right there, SSC, as early as probably in SS1 or in SS2.
I'm glad they started clamping down on some of the special centers, but these things happen with it. And, I was at a program and the DSCC boss, one of the directors, was speaking like, they're putting their eyes on some of these schools and special centers because they found out, a lot of parents know. They go make their arrangement, they come up with their maths, their English and all whatnot, and they just keep moving them. So it's not as if they are extraordinary brilliant as such, but...
They just want to move them some few years ahead.
But that's just the very few. There's no data to back the number of parents who actually do this. We're not going to use that as a blanket to saying other parents and other brilliant kids are not, brilliant. Yeah. So just do right by your kids, but you know what the policy is, except someone contests is in court and the interpretation is different from what the federal government is saying. It is what it is. So 18 stands, but it's being criticized by some and applauded by others. Let's go straight to the phone line. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook. YouTube is at Nigeria Info Abuja. Mr. Felix Cadwell Amayo says, good afternoon. Please, I'm reaching from Sapele in Delta State. I'm on holiday here from Abuja. I'm no longer able to get the Nigeria Info on Radio Garden, which I usually get, and also talked about the app. Yeah, I'm aware that yesterday...
The app is working. The app is up and running.
As of yesterday, I checked.
As of yesterday. So probably should check in some few minutes, the engineers.
They've worked on it?
Yeah,
yesterday. All right. So Cherry News, the app is working. You can listen to us. Just download the app on your Android or... iOS or Play Store and then get it. All right then. So on Facebook, we're also there. Feel free to leave a comment on our Facebook page. You can also send a message via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kimberly. Good afternoon, Big Mo.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I remember humble self of Bakar Ali. I'm calling from Pirobi Kubo at the moment.
Welcome.
Starting with the electricity, I think there is no any effort from the past leaders and the current leaders to bring an end to this electricity saga. And I will model it up. I will combine it with that of the education. All the policies our policies makers are making for Nigerians, overwhelming majority of them don't even consume the policy. Go and check. Probably even the Minister of Education, his children are not schooling in this country, let alone the president or the vice president. Then how do you think they will bother about any policy? Like now, my child will be going to secondary school at the age of 10. And he has passed every exam written by himself. So are we now saying when he's done, maybe at the age of 15 or 16 or even 17, I should not keep him at home? Is this his fault that he is brilliant? You understand? They don't blame this system.
No, but he's saying based on the 6334 system, if your kids spend, if your kids supposed to spend 6 years in primary school,
are their children schooling here? Are their children schooling here? Don't they have children in abroad? Their own children graduate at the age of 17, 18 in foreign universities. If their children are here, they will not press these policies. I'm telling you this. They will not. Because they take their children where there will be no strike, there will be nothing. They will graduate at the age of 18, maximum 20 years they have graduated. And here they are bringing policies. Kimberly, anything you don't use, you don't value it. If these guys use our public hospitals will not be in this situation. If their children use our public institutions, public schools, the public schools will not be like this. Let us be sincere. Let's tell them what they don't want to hear.
All right, thank you
very much for the wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much. I remember on a trip I went for during a conference somewhere, and then I ran into a lot of young people. You had 24, 25, they would tell you they've gotten their PhD. In some part of the world, you start to really wonder, because we know how PhD can drag on here, where if you don't have a sprinkle or two of grey, you never start. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon.
By regard to your colleague there,
he's listening.
My name is Dr. Lagide. I'm calling from Wuse Sonsi. On the issue of this education policy, Kim noticed there is no one that will call on you that will tell you say his child they don't like. They will tell you he's brilliant. Nobody will ever tell you say, my son is dull.
Is your son dull, sir? Mr. Olajide, is your son dull?
Now, what I'm saying, will I tell you my son is dull?
Okay.
I won't tell you that. I will tell you he's the best among the best. Leave that one alone. Let me go to on the issue of 9-12 years in Western world that they are PhDs. What we are forgetting is that they didn't go 2 years. It's like a special program for them. As we are finishing these modules, they take you to another module immediately. Because somebody cannot tell me that a 9 years go through master's degree and PhD and in follow the year. No! On their own. It's a special program for such guys, for such guys. As you are finishing today, they start another one with you. As you are finishing one, they start another one with you. But if you have to go through real schools, no matter how freelance you are, you will finish first year, second year, third, fourth year now.
Indeed.
By the time you combine everything together, you look at your age. But here, what we are saying is this. Many parents here abandon public school because of spending 6 years. They will quickly go to private school where they will spend 2 or 3 years to say they have graduated. That is the problem we are facing. That the government wants to correct. And we say no, they should not correct it.
All right, sir.
The issue of electricity. Kim, our problem is that we always want to prove I'm better than you. I'm saying, even, do you know that some people that are using generator, if you tell them that there should be light today, they may not be happy because in their area they are the best. They are one everybody is looking at it, having like a person.
All right, sir.
Finally, I've been saying it on this platform. The development of Nigeria will come from faith. Because everybody thinks Nigeria has so much distance. If you are a minister, you cut, you go. Lot administration.
All right, sir.
They give billions upon billions of people for rights. Because the money comes from federal government.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Olajide.
But this is what to say. A government say I want to make electricity in my state. It will work.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you.
Only for your people. And it will work.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's hear another caller who would need to join the I Beg to Differ studio. So let's make room for others to contribute. Hello.
Hello, Madam Kim.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome. My name is Abubakar. I'm calling from Itawa.
We're listening.
Yeah, I just want to talk on that issue of the policy of that 18 years old to sit for a jam. For me, I don't think anything is bad. You graduate at the age of 22 or 23 is not bad. Because first and foremost, how old can the child be to even speak? Also, you cannot be in a primary school when you are at the age of 3. At most, maybe like 4 or 5. So if you now put those 6 years in primary and secondary with the 12, or maybe you are like 3 or 4. So maybe when you are 17, because the whole idea is for the parents that they are pushing their children, they are trying to boycott those age that they need to learn. So if you don't have problem with you being 18 years or 21 before you can be a director of a company, even though it is your father's property, if it is an inheritance, there must be a certain age that the law permits for you to be a director. If there is a particular age that a law permits you to, that you can get your driver license, I think we shouldn't have a problem with this 18 years of old. 18 years. And besides, if you graduated as they assume before 25 years and you want to serve in the public service, maybe you want to spend at 5 years. You might just want to graduate at 22 or 23 and you want to spend, you will not spend the work at 5 years or because you are not even 60 years.
Is that a problem?
50 years for me is not a bad. I don't think
is that a problem if you're not 50 yet? You retire now and move on to something else.
But it should, at least generality, I think it's for the whole benefit of the country. That's
all right.
it. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much. She was making it sound like it was a problem if you did your 35 years and before 50 and then you retire. It's us that make retirement sound as if the people are tired. There are a lot of people who are still charged up and ready to go. Even after
and venture into
retirement, they
something
start
else.
off new lines of business, get into new kind of adventure.
And being absorbed into several boards.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, most definitely. So you could start up something else even after that. But I was just,
Reacting.
piggybacking on your argument. Your point is valid and well noted. Let's hear this caller. Knock, knock. Anybody home?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, fellow, how are you? Good afternoon.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, our guest. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. My name is Udo, the next president. Yeah, let me start from the issue of electricity. You know what? That electricity, the foundation is absolutely wrong. And there's no way it can really be corrected without political will. And it will take a government that stood on his leg, to say, I want to correct all this. Because those who bought that sector are not ready to help this country. They bought it because of their own selfish purpose. Be hearing even when they bought it at a very lowest price than what they take over the assets. So that is the problem. I think this government is trying, especially the Minister of Power, one of the ways to solve this problem is that initiative they are taking, that every customer must have meter. When you have meter, it's what you bring that will do that. There will be no improvement, there will be no changes in that power sector because they are not ready to change. The estimated billing is what they are just trying to enjoy themselves with. They are not ready to improve the sector. So when all the customers are on meter billing, they will be forced to do the right thing.
All right.
And another thing they want to do is that they want to break them down into pieces. Like a state is too big for them to control. The issue of education, lastly, let all the government and political officials to have their children register in the public school. Is that they will know where it reaches everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You're next. Hello.
Hello, King. Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show. Oh dear. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Kimberly.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Jerry.
We're listening, Jerry. Talk to us.
Yeah. My own is that when you look at the JAM, almost 20 years ago, JAM is always fighting a young generation of this country. Small boys and small girls who want to enter secondary school. Start from, do you remember the time when high institution want to write a post-secondary because of the frustration JAM used to frustrate a Nigerian who want to enter high institution? They fight with the high institution, so the extent of high institution has to surpass them. They are writing, when a child write a NECO, write the WAEC, write the JAM, write the SWEMI, for exam, and pass it, you are coming back and tell us if that person will not reach 16 years or 18 years, not enter university. For what? Person who is competent should enter who writes all this now, competent should enter high institution. As you said, this generation is not like a 50 years ago generation. You understand? So what I'm saying is that JAM is always trying to frustrate Nigeria who went to the high institution. This trust for all the money JAM are generating. They are declared dividends, 1 billion, this amount is from the children of Nigerians who want that JAM because all this money comes from them. All those money now, what are they using it for? If you got the whole high institution of the most of the development of high institution is transform. Is it from JAM money? They are developing that school. What I'm saying, let JAM allow Nigeria to breathe, allow the children, the poor children to breathe. Anybody who is competent should enter the high institution.
All right.
Stop matching us. They fight with this thing before you know, monkeys swallowing money, snakes swallowing money.
All right, sir. Okay.
Does the money for?
Let's not.
Leave Nigeria children alone, I beg. Thank you.
Okay. All right then. Apparently, your issue with jam is even a bit personal. You know, if you've written jam more than once, like I did back in the day, I can understand how you'd look at jam, you buy jam form, then 1 year pass and you don't get admission. You have to buy jam form and write the exam all over again. The exam isn't the easiest though, so I totally understand. Hello.
Hello, Kim. Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Bimo.
Afternoon.
My name is Mike Wenwind. My take this afternoon is all the sectors we've been complaining about is because we don't have people with genuine interest to see to the growth and the prosperity of this country and as a people. All along, my observation has been people who we see in our public space are those who come to make a living off all of us. Whereas it's supposed to be people who come to contribute to the growth of all of us. Take electricity, for instance. The former speaker, Dogara, said they are spending over $5 billion annually at the government level. What the budget for electricity, the generator, diesel, and all of that. I'm not sure what we spend on our individual generators is added to it. But I want to tell anybody who cares to listen that as it is now, we are spending, although not on any statistics, but presumably we are spending about 5-10 times what would have kept a central power source for all of us 24/7. When you think about how many Nigerians are buying generator, we see pay the darkness for those who are on estimated billing and all of that. We are spending about maybe between 5 to 10 times over what would have kept a central power source for all of us, noiseless and all of that. But because we don't have people, like over the people have said, how do you have people? I keep saying it. I employ you as cook. You prepare a meal, serve me. From the beginning of that meal, preparing that meal to the end, you didn't serve the test. Keep you go eat the food. And that is how kind of people will keep churning out. People who everything they are providing, healthcare, education, name it, they don't patronize it. And we'll keep recycling them over time because they have a means of buying their way in. I want to end by saying, until we look at how people get into our public space, not just only politicians, even career civil servants, recruitment into police, in the custom, all of it, name it. The way people buy their way into this place, we won't expect anything to come out of it.
All right.
Let us look at how people get into our public space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Let's interrogate how to get in there. And Onyekachi Alex Moke says, my professor is not around today. Hope he's fine. He's a tad under the weather and wish him a quick recovery. My regards to you all. Please, Ma, that the 18 years would never work except they want us to upgrade the birth certificate of our children. How can a 16-year-old child not be allowed to, will be allowed to get married, but 18 would not be allowed to sit for an exams? All right, that's Onyekachi's point there. Let's see what we have here on WhatsApp. Most Nigerian parents aid their children to beat the school system. Majority of those crying foul on this policy of compulsory 18 years before gaining admission are how can you say all involved in pushing their children beyond limit? Should be from Suleja. I'm tempted not to read the rest of your message for that gross generalization. Being brilliant does not give room for students to jump classes. It's corruption for children to write WAEC at the age of 14 or 15. Now, wow. All right, thank you very much. Your point of view noted. Olajide speaks like a native. Wow.
Okay. It's getting personal.
It is getting personal. Ikukwama from Dede says, Nigeria matter no dey finish, so I don't have anything to contribute. My problem is that some people are not mentioning their surname again when they call. It's like they want to disown their parent. Now, wow. This one is really tired of everything. Now
wow.
Surname.
Is it the weather or what?
Ikukwama. Now, wow.
And he didn't mention his son.
Exactly. Let me come in codedly. If you put together the theory of the resource curse and that of the Dutch disease, you get the answer to why we don't have light. International politics, basically. Amos from Asokoro. Yeah, blame the other man, Amos. Chima from Apo says, Kim and our guest, Pigmo, in a country where individuals are more powerful than the institution, no policy works. Since 1999, we've been battling with the issue of power supply, yet it becomes a mirage. Any policy that affects the rich drastically dies at birth. In 2027, the issue of electricity will still be an object of campaign. Kimo and the big one. Well, this one is the big mo. A pleasant afternoon to you. Our government officials should channel their energy to upgrading our institutions to match international standard. Leave aid, fix our degrading education system, says Stockwell. What about students in SS3 that are 15 or 16? That means they will not be allowed to write WAEC or NECO next year until after 3 years. Sergio from Airport Road sent that one in. Why not make better use of time to discuss important topic than ASU's issue? Or is it not about the university lecturers? INEC used to perpetrate election rigging. Now, wow. It's not even sunny and you are acting as if Sunday beat us. Now, wow. Wow. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on. The Oracle, please help me ask ADC to explain to me why I would be 13 units for 3,000 naira. I'm tired, please. Israel from Gwagwalada. Hamzi, age limit on education means parents should consider institution in neighboring countries. If you're going to neighboring countries, you might want to avoid the ones in Cotonou, a few of the university. Remember, they've even said you should sack those ones who graduated between 2001 and now. They question all their certificates. So better know the neighboring country you're going into so that sorry will not be your case, if you get my drift. They would need Forex to pay for fees and boom, pressure on Forex begins again because a lot of parents need to pay for fees of their 15, 16-year-old kids going to the university in Ghana, Cotonou, Benin. I hate it here because we're always creating problems for the future. By the time you spend 2 years at home, gaining admission at 18 or 19, you spend 6 years plus ASU strike, NYC, etc. One will be done at 26. Then job employment will peg employment age at 25 with 5 years working experience. Hamzi. All of these things are facts, actually. There are a lot of things we need to look at. And I feel like the system is, people respond to the system itself and want to find a way to beating it. That's why you find people like, just hurry up and finish school and, get into that labor market and all of that. It can be detrimental on one hand, but we need to fix a lot of things. You can't fix one end and leave other loose ends. So I get your drift, Hamzi. Been out of Abuja for close to 7 months now, but I'm here listening to you live in Bauchi via an app. A TK from Bauchi, that confirms that the app is back up. So get the Nigeria Info app and listen. Why not make better use of... Okay, Israel. They are back to defer debate. The final comes up tomorrow. Mary and Daniel, this is Sunday. Adekomi from Zuba. Yes, we're aware of that. However, third place is happening today. Any minute now would join the Abeg to Differ Tournament of Champions studios for the third place debate. Damilade and Mary, Joe from Papi, thank you very much. Damilade's name was the one that left my head. I appreciate you. Damien says, good afternoon. Please, Nigerian problem, they finish. Play me one of Debbie's song. Make her use calm down. I miss her. We all do miss her. Seriously, Damien. Those people fighting against 18 years limit are the rich people who aid their children. Now, wow, Skiddo from Life Camp. Let's not generalize, all right? Thank you very much. This is a healthy place to take that break, and we'll be back with the third place debate of the Tournament of Champions today. Stay with 95.1 Nigeria Info.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1.
This is Nigeria Info.